Okay. So basically, the first element, of course, is something that you all are quite familiar with. That is to have, health and safety facilities and equipment, signage, and protective gears. So these are very common things that you hear, you think when you come to safety. You see, so most engineers, they knew about this, they heard about this. That all of you are asked probably to go for the CIDB course as well. So these are some of the things that they will bring it out first. So you will be quite familiar with this. So no need for me to dwell on this. So remember about what is the definition of occupational health and safety. Plus, the first element here is a provision of all this. Okay. Needed things. These are all very basic. These are all the very basic things that signage, protective gears, facilities, health facilities, equipments, signage. These are all very, very, very basic things for any civilized construction society. Okay, so without this, your side are really pretty much uncivilized, meaning that you are, don't know, belonging to what kind of century, like 1990 maybe, or 2000, early 2000 or something like that. So these are very basic things. Nowadays, we are moving on and talk about the other two elements, which is talking about setting of rules and regulations in your company. So meaning that, like very much like quality, safety is something that will cost you money because you need to buy all these provide all these gears, and giving it to your workers. And some of them don't want to wear it and they will lose it, and there's so much of missing pieces and a lot of money wasted on protective gears and signages and all that. And does people really read it? You will ask, you see. So that means you don't do it. It's not like that. At the end of the day, it is expensive to carry out all this purchasing and setting up of these facilities and gears, but it's not really about how effective they are. This is the case of if you don't do it, you will get into trouble. But if you do it, you still get into trouble, so the trouble is not that big. That kind of concept, you see. It doesn't mean that it will stop the trouble from coming. It doesn't mean that it will stop people from getting sick. It doesn't stop people from getting COVID. But at least you've tried to make sure that things are there. Then if somebody did have a problem, did die or did, hurt themselves, at least that, you've done your upper best to prevent all these things, you see. So these are some of the humane reasons why we want to actually do this, you see. So the other thing is, like I said, it is very money costing. It is economically very expensive to do all these things. But you can see that if something do happen, just one death or just, one injury, it will cost you like tens and thousands of dollars, In overseas, you may have millions of payout, Here in Malaysia, maybe you need to pay like 60,000, 50,000. So it may get more expensive if you don't do it. Of course, the site may have nobody injured, nobody died, everything is fine. And then all these are just money investment that you put in, and you probably can't, reuse some of the things here again because it's very personal. So like helmet, like boots, like masks, you can't reuse them. So it's actually disposable. You need to throw them away. So yeah, but the issue is you still have to do it. So now we are moving into what we call a company, creating a set of rules and regulations on this level. So you must prepare to provide them. Your company must have that rules and regulations for you all to set up the system, and then for people to check, for your management to check, and you follow those procedures. These are some of the examples of what can be in a quality, in a safety, so not quality, in a safety plan, in an occupational health and safety plan, some of the rules and regulations that you can put in. But these are just very brief, examples of rules and regulations that you're putting down like this. And this is not effective. This is not really like 100% effective. You will need to actually have proper administering of that. We must set them up, provide, do up the training, the safety, health manual, which comprises of some of the things that I've mentioned up here, in page 4, 5, 6. And then you also must have people to monitor, and these things must be provided. Whatever that you do, there must be somebody monitoring it. There must be a safety officers or coordinator, or your superintendent officer is to enforce these sort of practices. And then you are to hold safety training. You must tell your workers what it's all about. And then you must have safety meeting to review if there's any breaking of rules and regulations, and how to be careful with this follow through of this health, safety and health regulations that you set up in the company. So if you refer back to the notes that I have, these notes here in the PDF file. So what you need to do is you will set up a committee or set up some form of person in charge of this matter. And so you will do up your safety manual, which comprises of health and safety section. It will comprises of the equipment and safety gears and health facilities needed, the hardware, and then you are going to come up with the processes of doing certain things, like do not do this, do not do that, the procedures. And then you will find ways of writing down how regularly are you going to check and what are the penalties involved. So once you get this manual out already, so you have a safety manual. So in your site, you will create your own safety manual for it. And that will be effectively being communicated to everybody working on the site, whether you're from the contractor, consultant, or anybody. Those rules and regulation and procedures and the equipment, the hardware is all listed down. So there must be somebody who communicates this effectively to the right people. And then after that, you will do with coming up with the committee to actually monitor, and then putting in the penalties and the requirement, and how things, if it's not done, what is the next procedures that you will follow through and all that. So these are what we call setting up a set of practice, a set of manual, a set of rules, and you train your workers on this matter. Okay, so these are some of the examples of what a health and safety committee will do. Okay, and then you will list down some, these are some of the key elements within that particular set of regulations that you are going to be creating, the safety policies or training manuals that you'll be creating. You can also base it on the work breakdown structure. So you can go to look at your work breakdown structure and look at different activities, and different activities will encompass different gears, different safety practices, different rules, different regulations, and who's going to look after what, the line of responsibilities is going to be there. And then, if it's not done, what next? Is it going to be a penalty? Is it going to be kicking out of the site, or is it going to be reporting to the right people, or even reporting to the regulators, and reporting to Department of Environment, Safety and Health? So we need to get it all written down in the statement. So it will demonstrate the will of the company, the management, in order to follow through all this. So once you got it all in the manual, then it's about getting it done, and putting forward this sort of make sure that everything is there, like you don't say something in the manual and the gears are not there, so you organize, and then after you plan, you organize, you make sure that everything is there, and then you check, you measure your performance and how everybody's doing, and then from there, you do records and then see what are the accidents, what are the complaints rate and all that. So then you review your safety performance. These are what the committee will do, or the engineers in charge of safety will do. Normally, for very small projects, the engineers, the project manager with the site engineers will take care of everything, but together. But now there are projects that are huge, and they will call for particular safety officers to look into all these things. So if you are being called as a safety officers, this particular set of notes will be a guideline for you to come up with a safety plan, safety manual. So